The nation paused today to watch the inauguration of President Joe Biden.
The United States has new leadership but faces a multitude of challenges, some of the gravest in its history. As Stacey Smith reminds us, many presidents have taken office at times of trouble, but the nation and our democracy have prevailed.
Time will tell whether President Biden's inauguration speech will be included in the list of speeches that have inspired the nation, like that of Lincoln, FDR, JFK, or Reagan. Each of those presidents delivered their speech as the nation faced some sort of turmoil. And for Joe Biden, he assumes office with more than his share of turmoil, as the country is still in the grips of a pandemic and it is facing a deep political divide, punctuated with an extremely troubling assault on the Capitol building. Now, this is not to compare whether one president's problem was more vexing than another's. Instead, it's a sign of encouragement and hope that things will get better. For Lincoln, it was the realization that the Union was going to win the Civil War, and he then had to heal a nation that was split with winners and losers and a hatred that ran deep. He, of course, was assassinated, but the country did hold together. For FDR, he assumed office in the Great Depression at a time when it didn't seem the economy could ever recover. FDR also led the country, and to a degree the world, during the Second World War. The country did emerge from the Depression and won the war, and prosperity boomed in the 1950s. JFK took the oath of office in 1961 at a time when domestically things were peaceful. But it did not stay that way, as soon there were civil rights demonstrations. Then the country had to deal with the assassination of Kennedy and the fact that the war in Vietnam was growing. His successor, LBJ, invested more money and soldiers in that war, and the loss of American lives began to multiply, and that led to protests by young people who did not want to fight in a war that made no sense to them. Then Martin Luther King was assassinated, followed by the killing of Robert Kennedy. For days and weeks, urban areas dealt with entire city blocks burning, and the protests became more confrontational. In the end, LBJ decided not to run for re-election, and Richard Nixon was elected president. The anti-war protests continued and culminated with the killing of several students by National Guard troops at Kent State University. The war did wind down, but the political turmoil only heightened with Watergate and the resignation of Nixon. The majority of the nation rejected Republicans in '74 and '76 and elected Jimmy Carter. By 1980, the pendulum had swung, and Carter lost re-election during the Iranian crisis and double-digit inflation, and the nation elected a Republican, Ronald Reagan, who offered hope and a return to greatness. Inflation was brought under control, and the nation began to prosper again, while the Soviet Union dissolved. Since then, we have faced recessions, a war against Iraq, presidential impeachments, an attack on the country by foreign terrorists on 9/11, and now an assault on the Capitol building by domestic terrorists. Add in the pandemic and a faltering economy, and yes, things do look bleak. But for me, the history of this country should tell us something. We have faced trying times in the past, sometimes lasting several decades. But this experiment in government continues to evolve and endure, and I have every confidence it will again.